and welcome to another Outlook cover discussion. We have with us Riyas Komu, whose works we have, used, and he has been generous enough to give us a lot of his artworks to be used in the magazine. And this time we have the cover for the history rewriting issue that we have which has just come out on the stands. The cover is actually a series of woodcuts from his exhibition. Holy Shiver, which was showcased at the Vadehra Art Gallery in Delhi in 2018. So I'll open it up to Riyas to tell us more about this particular, the cover, the 6 images that we have used and what they are.
In this particular project, not just these woodcuts. I mean, there were few prominent representations in this exhibition, and one was the art in the Constitution. So these particular series were exactly placed opposite to around 26 pages from Indian Constitution. So that was it was almost like a reflective of what we envisioned and imagined, and what we dreamt in every sense as a nation. A sequence from partition, then it goes to the Sikh riots, and then it comes even from my early experiences of Bombay, the Bombay riots, and followed by the Bombay blasts. Then comes to some of my references in my art practice that I have responded to Gujarat riots and produced many works. Then it goes on to the current times where lynching and other social atrocities, and how very consciously society was getting succumbed, or I wouldn't say that a society was unconsciously falling into the trap of something. We are very conscious that that we are in the trap of fear. But so I actually wanted to when you enter the gallery, I wanted to start with this narrative of a dark history of India, juxtaposed with Indian Constitution. That's how this work actually happened.
And the other question, I have 2 more questions basically. One question is about your Gandhi images from the Holy Shiver series. And I think you gave us 5 images. And last issue, we used Tayyaba Lipi's razor thing. And that stands alone in itself. And your cover, which has very stark reminders of things that have happened, as you say, that they have shaped the political discourse in the country as events like, for instance, Godhra riots, for instance, the Bombay riots, partition, all these things. So basically, what I wanted to ask you about was that Gandhi image, and we have used one of it with Rakesh Sinha's column in the magazine, where he talks about narrative and facts and how the BJP wants to give us this history where we have not talked about ancient India, but more on that column later. But we use that as a very symbolic kind of an image to juxtapose or contrast with what he was saying. An image can do that. So if you can talk a little bit about that series as well.
So I actually wanted to reflect on Gandhi. In the early, from early 2014. That's when I started. Thinking around this work. So this is the symbolism which I played in that work, and later, the work grew into a different title altogether. I re-exhibited this work in Kochi, and also again I showed it in Habitat Center in Delhi. Then it traveled, different exhibitions again and again. Then I changed the title. So I changed the title because it's almost like engaging in the conversation with Gandhi. You be with him. With our immediate responses. So it was like that. So I titled it on International Workers' Day. Gandhi from Kochi.
Yeah, and you juxtapose it with the one that we have used is truth slash perception, which kind of says it all. Is the current post-truth world with all these meta narratives that we're living in. And since we're running out of time, I just had one last question from those days. Why don't you paint flowers?
One is, it's very tough to answer a question like that, but at the same time, how do you understand the meaning of flower? in today's time? I mean, that's it's. I mean, I don't want to dismiss the question, and to say that. I mean, how do you imagine the flower and the meaning of the flower? I mean, that's also is like, I mean, something which has been like, I mean, we are posed in front of us. I mean, so let's see.
Yeah, I hope you do paint some nice flowers sometime, or maybe not, I think. But thank you so much for being with us. And thank you so much for giving your art for the cover and for the magazine.